Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Angie.
And together we are
TwinFinity.
TwinFinity.
We're twin flames in union, back to do another question and answer video. This is actually the rest of the questions from the Banff Workshop that we never got to because there was lots of questions. So we're going to answer them tonight.
Yes, we're going to get through as many of them as we can. There was quite a few left over.
Quite a few.
Quite a few, Minnie.
And do you want to explain the hats, or do I get to explain the hats?
You get to explain the hats.
Okay, I want to explain our hats. See, look at our hats. Okay, can we both turn
that way.
Is it that? No, am I supposed to look that way?
That way.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, we're supposed to. Yeah.
It says here. It's over here.
San Francisco.
So one of the attendees gave us these hats, and we wanted to wear them actually in the video that we did when we talked about the workshop and like how it went and all of that stuff. But we forgot, so we're wearing them tonight. We don't need hats in our house, but we don't care.
In fact, we got a nice warm fire right behind us, and it's very warm. I've got on a sweater and put the hat on. The hat might not make it very long. I might just get too warm.
And I might have to leave my hat on because my hair is going to be all messy underneath now. So,
okay.
I think my hat's staying on.
Yay.
I had something else to say and I forget. Oh, Halloween. Yes.
Yeah, it's coming up to Halloween
we're
for us.
2 days away from Halloween, so this is our Halloween costume too.
Okay.
We're San Francisco people. I don't know what they're called.
I had a word for it.
Yes,
San Francisconians.
San
Francisconians. Yeah, okay.
We'll have to ask the person that gave us the hats. What do you people call?
Yeah.
We don't.
I like inventing words. But that was 6 syllables. That's pretty big even for me.
Okay. Maybe we should start questions because we'll just talk about nothing.
Okay.
For fun. Because we're strange people.
The questions, okay, now this might look a little bit weird on your end. I have a flashlight, and there's a reason why I have a flashlight. It's not to blind you. Watch out for your eyes. Watch out. Careful. It's a very bright little flashlight. Okay. The reason is that we have some cards. Like, we used recipe cards. They're like you can read stuff. And then there's other cards where we blew it. I mean, we purpled it. You can't read anything because it's black ink on purple cards. So whenever I run across a purple card, I'm going to be using my bright flashlight to shine everything up so that I can actually read what's on the cards. That was very challenging.
I'm a color person, so I had to get colored cue cards because they're way more fun than white, boring ones.
We got orange and yellow and blue and green, and actually 2 shades of green and a little bit of white and a few of those purple ones.
Yeah. So
what I have is a pile of cards here on the floor, and I'm just going to not watch what I'm doing, and I'm just going to randomly shuffle things around. And then I'm going to reach down, and the first thing that there was something right here. There's a card. It's now been drawn. So question number 1 for the night.
Now we're going to warn you, some of these questions are tough.
They're really tough.
We're wishing we would have been able to answer them with the whole rest of the facilitators.
Yeah, because we had our wonderful facilitators with us to help us out. we might have been hosting, but there's a lot of people out there that have a lot more experience than us when it comes to this kind of thing. So we were doing our bit, but we really needed lots of help, and now we don't have that help. It's just us.
And by the way, I'm sorry, we're really going to get started. But I just have to say, I really miss our peeps from Banff. I was trying to put my head down so you could see my San Francisco while I said that. Yes, we miss you. We went to the hot springs on Saturday night?
Saturday night with pretty much the whole group. So.
Oh, I meant like this past Saturday night.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was way back then too.
Yeah. And it wasn't the same without our peeps. It was like, we felt like empty.
Yeah, we even sat in basically the same corner of the hot springs where most of the group was, and it was just us.
Yeah.
We have so much fun when we have everybody together.
Yeah.
So
for those of you that didn't get to go, don't worry, we're going to do it again. We were told we're doing it again. Rob's like,
oh, here we go.
We need to recover first.
Yeah, we're gonna need a few months to recover. It's
more than a few.
It's very, very energy intensive, but it's also just wonderful to see how everything goes. Yes. And the questions that come out of these workshops can be really tough.
But awesome, profound questions.
When people travel hundreds/thousands of miles to be with other twin flame people and ask questions, they show up really well prepared.
Yeah.
And of course, we show up not knowing what they're going to be prepared with. So first question, about the mission. In my perspective, soul missions should flow and shine effortlessly. When I am on my mission, I feel great because when I channel it and share it, I know it's the universe flowing through me to raise the vibration of the world. However, the market seems not yet so openly welcoming it. Is it because we're evolutionally bringing heaven to earth? There's a lot of questions in that question. First of all, in my perspective, soul missions should flow and shine effortlessly. That would be great if we all had all the answers. But most of us who are on mission are also learning at the same time. So therefore, while learning, it's because we're learning what we don't know. And usually learning involves lessons, realizations. And we take lessons and realizations and put them together in a sentence. Effortlessly kind of gets wiped a little bit off the slate.
I was just going to say, has our mission for the last year that we've been on it been effortless?
No, there's been lots and lots of effort.
If you are interested to find out how much effort, we did a bloopers video, and in that video we share not only just the bloopers, but all of the sort of challenges we had along the way. There was one video that took us all damn day to get done because it was one problem after another after another. So yeah, mission isn't always flowing effortlessly because we're still learning lessons. We're still growing. We're still having to experience challenges so we can determine what we need to do with those challenges. Like for us, some of our lessons were surrender.
Yeah.
Some has been persevere. Some has been let go. There's been a whole pile of lessons in our challenges of mission.
In this question, I see a little bit of that persevere. Because the person who wrote this question seems to be not having much trouble channeling information and energy and vibrations, but the world seems not so openly welcoming it. This is something that happens with people, especially people who have come to a twin flame conference, workshop, whatever. It really seems like people who are fairly far advanced along the path are the people that end up finding the resources, needing to hook up with other people who are fairly far along the path. So therefore, oftentimes we find that the workshops have got people who are quite advanced. And if you're advanced, you're being a leader. And if you're in a form of leadership, oftentimes you're breaking ground with people who you're in communication with. Not often do you find people who are in the same level as that. So I get the feeling that whoever wrote this card is really, really understanding where they're at. But the effort is not in channeling their own energies. It's in actually being able to communicate with the world that they are in, with the people that are around them. People aren't openly welcoming it.
Yeah, that's the part I was intrigued about. And what does it say after that again?
Is it because we're evolutionally... That's only 5 syllables. I should be able to get that word. Is it because we're evolutionally bringing heaven to earth? Evolutionarily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Funny. That's an interesting perspective on that. I don't know if that plays a part. It probably does, but how much of a part? Again, I'm going by my own experience, and my experience has been mission sometimes flows and sometimes it does not, only because of our own lessons that we're learning. Is it really the bigger picture about evolutionarily bringing heaven to earth, and that's why there's challenges, and that's why there's how did they put that? That the others aren't openly welcoming to it?
Yes.
That could very well be. Yeah, because it's a new energy that we're bringing, and it takes a while to assimilate that into Earth.
You see, as twin flames, we are preparing a little bit ahead of many others, not all others, but many others, for being able to help out the world and Earth, and I'm going to say especially other people, with understandings of what is going on as it becomes more and more commonplace that people see changes and shifts in the Earth and how spirit is presenting itself. So if you're a little bit ahead of your audience, don't worry. All of a sudden they are going to start to see things that will cause them to ask questions, and then they will be able to be more receptive to answers when they actually have the questions themselves. If you're presenting information on things that people don't have questions on, it leaves them lots of room for speculation and skepticism. If all of a sudden they've got questions because things have changed, your information will be instantly relevant. So patience. I think a little bit of patience.
Rob's favorite word.
It is. Sometimes you're ahead to be able to receive people as they have questions. And other times you're a little bit ahead because it takes time for you to process things yourself. I sense that the writer of this question is all ready to rock and roll. Just they haven't, the stadium hasn't opened up yet for them. That's all.
That's good. I like that. Okay.
Next question?
Yep.
Okay. I really like that question. That was a good one. For me.
Pardon.
All of a sudden I'll stumble into a question and have no idea. That one, whatever that piece of paper is. Oh.
It's your favorite purple one that's hard to read.
We got a purple one.
Get your magic flashlight out.
Oh.
This is why I make him read the questions.
About manifesting work. I've been working on it, but feeling that maybe there's a deep fear to allow myself to truly trust the universe. Not to mention feeling that it's already happened and living in that vibration state of being. How to break this obstacle, please? Boy, I'm going to comment first, and then manifesting is more your specialty, so I'm going to let you go and do your bit. But
okay.
I almost feel like there's a little bit of a conflict between manifesting and already fulfilling a destiny. Like, do you manifest change, or are we manifesting the path that fills a predetermined destiny? I feel there's a little bit of a tug of war there, where a person maybe doesn't feel that they have the ability to truly change a path, with the fear that there's only one path. I think that there's numerous paths that a person can discover or understand that are all valid paths of destiny. So therefore, you could be on one path that's valid and manifest something different, a little bit different for the future, that is also a valid path, but switch paths along the way. And I think that this question is about someone who's a little concerned that they're living a destiny.
Can I see it? There's one part. Yeah, the allow myself to trust the universe. That's a tricky part for manifesting for some people. And my advice for that is start small with your manifestations. So make them simple, like manifesting a parking spot when you're going to the mall, like on a busy Saturday or something, and there's, not a lot of parking spots. And like I'll often, when I'm frustrated and driving around, and then I remember, oh yeah, I have this ability to like create and ask spirit for help and all of those things. So then I will ask for a parking spot, and then poof, it'll just open up. So when we're asking for something simple and we're trying to manifest something simple, it's easier to trust because we don't have a lot of like stake in the game. So it's not like, well, if I don't get my parking spot, it's not the end of the world, right? So that's how I started, is just small. Also, trusting involves trusting yourself, knowing that you are much bigger than just this human body here and now. So remembering your grander self, your higher self, your soul self, your universal self that is connected to all that is part of that creative. You know, when it's said in the Bible, and forgive me, I'm not much of a Bible person, so I might not quote this properly, but when it said something like we're made in the likeness and image of God, how I interpret that is we're made as much a creator as God is. So we have the ability to create just as much because we are co-creators. So it's learning to embrace that as well, and embracing that we are not victims in this world, nor are we sort of like puppets on a string that somebody else is here to, control. We have just as much power. It's learning to embrace that power and use it. But yes, the trust is a big one. So I say start small. Manifest little things.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, I thought there was another piece to this. Is there more? Trust the universe, not to mention feeling that it's already
happening,
living the vibration.
In the vibration state of being. What's your definition of the vibration / state of being?
Well, how I interpret the question is living in the vibration of what you want, because the law of attraction is that you have to, like attracts like, and you can't have what you want if you don't think you already have it, because again, like attracts like. So yes, you have to be in the vibration of what it is that you are desiring in order to draw it to you. If you're in the vibration of lack and you're trying to create money or abundance of any type, it's not going to work because you're not in the same aligned vibration. So how I interpret it is that they're having a hard time sort of trusting or being in the vibration of whatever it is that they want. And we're going to do a video. We were going to do a manifesting exercise in Banff, but we never got a chance to. So we will definitely do a video and we'll cover more of this in that. But just kind of a basic one here is getting into that vibration. How I do it is I just not only go into the vibration of what it is I desire, I go into the vibration of who I really am. I get out of my human ego self and go into the bigger soul person like we were just talking about before. And from that place, then I'm easier able to get into the vibration of what it is I desire, because everything we desire is already part of us when we're in the grand state of our true self, because we are part of the universe. Therefore, everything is part of us.
So therefore, based upon what you said, I am in self. Let's say I could say that I'm in self right now, but if I step out of self, it actually allows me to embrace more of universal abundance as opposed to just self-abundance. And therefore, if I can touch more universal abundance, then with that there, then I'm able to manifest what I perceive that I don't have.
Yes. Because when you come from your, I call it soul self. Some people like to call it higher self, God self, whatever resonates. When you're coming from that place, you remember that you are connected to everything. And you are the energy of everything. So then everything, you're a magnet for everything then.
All right.
Yeah. But we'll cover that in more detail in another video, specifically on manifesting.
Manifesting is a big topic. There can be a lot of times when the conversation, especially at workshops, goes into manifesting. Because manifesting is part of creating. Creating is a lot of what we learn. I'm going to go find a different question.
Okay. Rob's having fun with these that are on like separate pieces of paper. Normally we just have
shuffle.
one big list of questions.
Okay.
This is all a random, fun little...
What is this? That is...
a surprise.
Oh, a blue one.
Does that one require your fancy flashlight too?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
You know, this is something that we do that was very fair. We did not filter out any questions. If someone had a tough question, or in this case, this is kind of a scratchy question.
Scratchy question.
Scratchy question. But, you know, a question's a question. General question. Oh
yeah.
So much for my flashlight. I just blinded myself. Has the whole twin flame thing become cult-like?
Oh, yeah. I like that question.
Questioned by many, understood by few.
So let's first sort of define what's a cult. I should have actually looked this up beforehand because I'm intrigued to know, like, what is a cult? I mean, I know what a cult is, but do I really know what a cult is? Maybe not.
Okay, I'm going to blow it here. There's lots
I'm putting you on the hot spot.
You're going to put me on the hot spot.
Yeah.
When I was first getting involved with twin flameism, I had that gnawing away in the back of my mind too. But what I have come to enjoy and understand about twin flameism is that it is not all absorbing, and that you must follow the doctrine of twin flameism, and twin flameism only is the only thing in existence. Therefore, it can only have one style of existence. It's not telling you how to live. It's not telling you who you can be in touch with. It's still, you can still be part of all other styles and forms of modalities, religions, everything else. Yeah. It is a subset of a belief system. It might be a strong portion of a person's belief system, but you're completely allowed to think anything else and live anything else that you want. So has twin flameism become cult-like? No, I think it has just become a more focused, special interest group. I've wanted to say that for a long time. It's a group of people who believe in a point of view, not an all obsessive way of living. So has it become cult-like? No, not my opinion, not anywhere near, because of its diversity and universality.
Okay, I am so glad you said all that, because you just helped me understand some things. Right, so a cult is when somebody else is dictating what you think, what you feel, what you believe. But if you know me, you know my biggest term, Rob's, is patience. Mine is go within, which is totally different from a cult. This path is all about connecting with your inner self, following your own guidance, following the connection to your twin within you, because you're connected inwardly on a soul level. You're not connected physically. We're not like attached as one being. So in my opinion, nobody else can tell you what to think, what to feel, how to go about this path. And again, in my opinion, if there are people telling you that, I personally would run the other way, because this is an internal journey. This is not a journey that somebody else can give you the steps to follow. No. Sure, there's some guidelines.
Sure, lots of guidelines.
But the answers are within you. Like, nobody's path is identical, and the only way we can each find our own path is to connect with our inner guidance. So to me, that is not a cult.
Because of this diversity, I want to tell the questions story. Because of the diversity that there is within Twin Flames, as far as what people have for questions and experiences, when we got all of these question cards, all these cue cards, I thought I was going to be able to sit down in the hotel room that night. We collected them on a Friday night, started into questions on Saturday. I thought I was going to be able to collect up a bunch of these cards and have quite a few questions that were very similar or almost the same, and staple those ones together and take, let's say, 60 cue cards and turn it into 25 questions. None of the cards overlapped questions enough to actually be able to staple them together. Some of the cards had questions on similar topics, but the points of view that people were experiencing were so different that each card stood alone as its own question. So if it was a very narrow-minded, specific, driving to the point organization, the questions would be very few with very solid, very strict answers. So
that's an interesting point.
This is why we have so many cards, is because we respect the differences and diversities of people.
Right. And that everybody has their own path within the universal path of twin flames.
Right.
I like that. Good insight.
Questioned by many, understood by few. It's so understood by few, again, because of what Angie said, is because so many of our journeys are so individual that one person's journey could be very different from another. So therefore, it could be very difficult for people to understand other people's journey.
And also because there's not really, in the big scheme of the world, that many of us. And how do you explain this to somebody that's not in it? I mean, I'm going to share just a very basic story. We were just out with friends yesterday.
Yesterday.
God, that feels like days ago already. Yeah. We were supposed to do our video last night, but we weren't in a happy mood, so we didn't do it. But anyway, that's a whole other story. I don't know why I even said that. Anyway.
Hey, we sometimes have off days like everybody else.
Yes. I was just saying it doesn't relate to the story I was going to tell, so I'm like, whatever. But, so we're out with friends, and they're asking us, how did our Banff weekend go? For those of you in Banff, we had shared this group of friends with you and told you some of the story, and that, they, even though they're not twin flames, they are generally interested in what we're doing, and they want to know more. So we were out with them, they asked some questions, and they were totally confused that none of these other people were there with their twin flame. And they were like, what? How, was the whole workshop to help them find their twin flame? We're like, no. They all know their twin flame. It's just the path is challenging to get together with your twin flame. So again, it's such an misunderstood or confused subject to the general public, because unless you're living this, it's hard to explain it to people.
Yeah.
That's why I rarely explain that I'm a twin flame and I share a soul with somebody. I don't say any of that. I just say I have a very unique spiritual connection with Rob. That's it.
Yeah, if you want to get a blank stare and be kept at arm's length from somebody, just go ahead and try and explain twin flames to them.
I mean, again, I'm all for do what resonates with you. If you want to tell people you're a twin flame, great. If that's your path, that's your path. That's fine. But yes, I think that's why it's understood by so few, because it's not an easy thing to explain to somebody when you can share. You have telepathy with them, and you dress the same without planning to, and all these weird things. People are like, what?
Yeah.
It's confusing. Even, hell, I mean, I've been on this journey awake and aware of it since 2012. I will be very honest with you. There are days I even doubt it still. And I go, is this all BS? Have I just made this all up in my head? Seriously.
And then
I still think that.
And then various things will happen, and you get that little reassuring
Yeah, you get the validation
that,
okay, I'm not crazy.
Keep going, and we do. Okay. That, for a question that sounded scratchy, I
think it's a great question.
Maybe I like questions. That's a good thing. Okay. Mixing stuff up again. Next one. Oh, touched a piece of paper there. What is that?
A piece of paper?
Oh. Aha. It's one of our off-size pieces of paper.
Did she put a name? No, she didn't. Can we show that one just because I think it's awesome?
Somebody did their question up, and then I think they must have taken it back to their hotel room, and they tuck stuff around, like teddy bears and hearts and
This
stuff.
was all their stuff. I think this was from home. They actually did this. This was all the stuff they got while they were in Banff. But I just loved how they did that. I just thought it was awesome.
And so, yeah, our little cue card got all pictured up with all sorts of various things.
Little Banff teddy bear. It's so cute.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
This is for Angie. Huh, I get to take a break. What spiritual practices did you do when you realized of being a twin flame that you think it brought you to union with Rob? So what did you do when you realized twin flameism that you think brought me closer or you closer to me?
Okay.
Did you send him love?
Yes.
Or do energy clearings?
Yes.
Meditations?
Yes. And I will elaborate. Okay, that's the end of the question.
That's
yes,
the end of the question. It says thanks. Okay, so I could say what did you do to me, but what did you do for us?
What did you do to me? Nice.
Yeah.
I voodooed you. Okay, so
other people felt voodooed.
they might have.
Go ahead.
They're not here to defend themselves.
La la la.
Why do we always get goofy when we do question and answer videos?
Because they're fun.
Oh, okay. You're right. Okay, so I found out we were twin flames in April, or I found out about twin flames in April of 2012. Rob and I did not get together until, I'm going to say November 11th.
Yes.
Of 2014? 14.
Yeah.
I always get the dates mixed up.
Oh, it's turning into a blur. We're going to have to write ourselves cue cards to keep ourselves on story.
Yeah. So it took me a long time, first of all, just to embrace twin flames. So that was step number one, just embracing it. When I actually embraced it and it started coming to me. So I didn't go out kind of embracing twin flames and go, okay, I'm going to get Rob to come to me. I didn't do that at all. How it actually started is he telepathically communicated with me, and I thought I was completely nuts. And once I started understanding what telepathy was, I really experienced that he genuinely was communicating with me. So that was one thing, is I would communicate with him telepathically. The first thing he told me telepathically is that he wanted to be with me but didn't feel adequate to me spiritually. Knowing now that he's the matrix twin and I'm the spiritual twin, that's all good. But he's not supposed to be spiritual like I am. That's my part of the journey. So it's all good. But my job and the guidance I was given from meditation, so that's where that yes comes in. I did meditate a lot and he would communicate with me. And then telepathically, I was guided to do energy work with him. So I use the word guided very pronounced because that's the key to everything. Everything that I'm telling you is what I did. It doesn't necessarily mean it's what you're supposed to do, and it's not like it's the magic key to union. I always like to preface that because I don't want people going, well, I did everything you did and I'm not in union. That's because it's different for all of us. So meditation, though, is the key, right? Because when we meditate, we get our own inner guidance that will then tell us what we need to do, whether it's involving our twin or not. Maybe we're not ready for union yet, and our inner guidance is going to say, you need to clear this, you need to heal that, you need to look at this. I don't know. Everybody's got their own stuff to go through. But my inner guidance was to work with him and clear some of the past. I ended up learning that we had a past life in Egypt. And that's where he had all this trauma, and I did too, of needing to clear in order for us to be together in this life. And that's where his fear was coming in about, you know, I'm not adequate to you, because in that life we were chastised for having a relationship. So a lot of meditation, a lot of past life clearing, a lot of telepathic communication. I also brought down my journal because one of the other things I did was manifesting. This is where I did do my own thing. I'm not going to, I'll just kind of show, I'm going to make sure there's no names. I didn't look at that very clearly. But what I would do is, you can see it says AM. Can I do that right? Says AM. So I wrote in the AM and I would manifest. I said, okay, manifesting. So then I said, things happen smoothly, naturally, and easy. for all of us involved, including our karmics, for Rob and I to be together. And then I just wrote and wrote and wrote everything that I wanted, and a lot of it came exactly true. There was something in here about things happen in miraculous ways for us to keep the house and be able to stay here, because my karmic was saying that wasn't going to happen. And then in the afternoon, I did the same thing. So afternoon, oops, I'm covering it. And then I did the same thing in the evening. So why I'm kind of elaborating that is, again, this goes back to manifesting. The more we put energy into what we do want rather than what we don't want, the more we keep our focus there and the more we create it. So 3 times a day, at least, I would focus my energy very intently on what I did want. And because I like to write and I manifest best that way, I wrote and wrote and wrote everything I wanted. I wrote out our future life. I wrote out about our mission. I wrote about the love I wanted us to have. And it's all here. Everything that's in my journal is our life. It's so cool.
I would like to comment that I hear manifestation. I hear telepathy. I hear numerous things, numerous different styles of communications. I would say that not everybody can do all of that, but if they try as much as they're comfortable of trying for different ways of doing things, including some good old 3D bits, like just trying to stay in touch with their twin as well. My favorite one's the Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday thing.
And surrender. I had to surrender a lot because in 3D there was nothing going on and all this telepathy, and I'm thinking I'm crazy because none of it's real.
So try it all, and there's another one of my favorite words, and that's resonance. Try a bunch of things, and if a few things resonate and a few things don't, maybe stick to what resonates. Because, many people can't be everywhere.
Yeah.
Just because Angie can do numerous different things, I couldn't have done things that way myself. I have much different ways of attempting to communicate. It would have been a lot less telepathy and a lot more probably manifesting just on my behalf. So maybe also do what resonates, but try many different things.
Yeah, and the thing again I would go back to is go with what you're guided to do, because you can't push the river, right? If I had done this when I first found out about twin flames a year and a half before, it probably would have gone nowhere because the energy wasn't in alignment yet. He wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. There wasn't that fit yet. So it was my inner guidance that said, do this now. That's why it worked. So I think that's a big key.
Part of opening up the antennas of communication is also about pushing boundaries. You can get very comfortable with where you're at, but if you push another boundary and open up those antennas a little bit more, maybe find something else that used to not really resonate or work, and all of a sudden it shows signs of being cooperative, useful. I could choose many positive words. It would also show a bit more inner growth, and that's often what seems to need to happen is inner growth to allow outer influences, possibly your twin, to have room to fit into your life.
For sure.
Good question.
Yeah.
Shuffling the deck again. Mixing stuff up. It's not near as coordinated as...
Bring the camera over there and let them see you, because it's funny. It's quite entertaining. Oh, it's your favorite purple one. Oh, no,
it's a blue one. It's a blue one. Oh. Uh-oh.
Put your flashlight on that blinky weird setting.
Weird one. I have been guided to merge my masculine and feminine selves. The actual word written here is twins, but I'm going to skip that. Selves who are both equally strong but not always working together. Any suggestions? You got a masculine and a feminine side if you want to split it up that way. They don't seem to be working together. I mean, you've been asked to merge them. How does one know that their masculine and feminine sides are not already working together? They would be feeling a disbalance of some type.
And I'm wondering, though, from the question, if they mean they're masculine and feminine, like twins. So it's not the masculine and feminine within them. It's the masculine and feminine people. External, like, you know, I'm not saying that well at all. I hope you know what I mean. I hope you know what I mean.
There's two possibilities. There's the inner masculine and feminine side. And then there's the, well, you know, when you talk about matrix or spiritual twins, there could be the masculine and feminine twin.
Yeah.
Even though they might not be male and female, there's masculine and feminine twin who are equally strong but not always working together. I take this as an internal question.
Okay. I think the answer's the same either way, personally.
Been guided to merge. Lots of people are trying to merge either within or externally. This is a hard one.
Well, I think it goes back to this.
Any suggestions? Oh, yeah, okay.
Can I?
Once in a while, we just bring down a pile of props just in case they all of a sudden work.
Well, no, I brought this one because I read the question.
Okay.
He doesn't pre-read the questions.
I don't
prefer to
reread
the questions because I like to be prepared.
I haven't seen some of these questions since Banff when I was trying to find a bunch of questions that were the same that weren't.
Yes. So I used this in last question and answer video, and I'm going to show it again here. So yin and yang, masculine and feminine, it says at the top there. I found this very helpful. It may not be very helpful for everybody because not everybody's a list person like I am, but I very much resonate with lists. And what I liked about this is, you know, and it doesn't have to be this specific one. Somebody actually asked me for this specific one. And I was like, you know what, just Google yin and yang, masculine and feminine qualities, and you'll find all sorts of stuff. But I find it helpful when I'm thinking of wanting to merge my masculine and feminine self is to read what is masculine qualities and what is feminine qualities. And if I'm seeing that I'm much higher on one side of the list than the other, then I'm like, well, maybe I need to embrace some of those other qualities. So if I'm too indirect, maybe I need to learn to be more direct. So I'll practice that with people, being able to speak up and say what needs to be said. If I'm very flexible, maybe I'll learn how to be more solid.
This is kind of funny. I was looking at the word flexibility.
Of course.
Sometimes I'm not very flexible. I tend to be a little bit more rigid. I tend to...
Mr. Drill Sergeant.
Yeah. I tend to stand on one piece of ground until that doesn't work for me anymore, and then I'll change. I'll be a little bit more flexible.
Yeah. So that's what I find helpful that's a one way of merging masculine and feminine. Another way I have found, again, is in meditation, merging energies. I'm highly visual, so I'm able to like really see things on an energetic level, even, you know, not just clairvoyantly, but eyes closed, that sort of thing, visualize in my head. And I will visualize sort of two of me, right? Here, oh, no, I can't do that properly. Two of me, masculine self, feminine self. And I will even maybe have them have a conversation with each other. I'm like, okay, well, what do you need to work on? What do you need to work on? I know that might sound weird, but I find it very effective. And then I would see them as they're working on their stuff, and they're like, you know, sometimes they're even battling with each other, going, well, you're too soft, and that's why I have to be so hard. And the other one's going, well, you're too hard, so that's why I have to be the softer side. And see them working it out, and then they start to merge because they find that balance within themselves. That's another suggestion. Any more from you?
Very much, this whole question's been very much, I think, about balance.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that's how you merge, right? You can't merge if you're not... It's almost like here, the traffic, the zipper merge thing.
The zipper merge.
It's balance,
yeah,
right?
you got two lanes going into one. Car from the left lane, car from the right lane. Car from the left lane, car from the right lane. Repeat. Until somebody's ego gets in the way, and then to get two from the left lane.
Oh, that's a good one too. The ego, see?
Yeah.
That's when things don't merge well, is when ego gets in the way. Because the masculine side or the feminine side it's usually the masculine side. That's the ego side. And again, that doesn't mean the male. That means that we still have ego within us, even though we're the feminine or the female. Doesn't matter. It's learning to release that ego side a bit, and that's where the surrender comes in. So merging.
When merging, there needs to be an asking and an allowance. And ego ultimately has to surrender for both the asking to be heard and for the allowance to run smoothly.
That's good.
Of course, ego can sometimes be a protectionism too. So now you got to throw in setting ego aside in the name of allowing trust. Trust that this will all merge properly, or at least to some benefit.
And that's where the feminine comes in. The ego side has to surrender to the more trusting side, the intuitive side that knows things, that feels things.
I learned lots about this surrendering and merging bits in the probably 15 years before we got back together. I learned to be much, much, much more balanced, and I'm very happy for it.
Me too.
I bet you are.
His drill sergeant wasn't really nice.
And I still have a drill sergeant, but
he's friendlier.
Yeah, a lot more friendly.
Yeah.
Except when I'm drill sergeanting myself, then that's another story. I save that for internal bits.
Okay, next question.
Next question.
We're already at 46 minutes.
46 minutes, and we're 5 or 6 cards in. We got enough questions to do a whole nother video.
Yeah, which we might do, because I try not to make the videos too long, because people have lives. We get that.
It's getting easier to shuffle the pile.
That's good.
That one. Oh, got an orange one. I can read that. Blackout orange.
Oh, the character.
For those that channel, suggestions on how to allow and channel with intent as opposed to having constant boundaries to the experience itself. When you started, what were the ways that you adjusted? This was a question to many people about channeling. There's only 2 of us here.
There are, but we're many, and if we embrace our
universality.
There we go.
How to allow and channel with intent as opposed to having constant boundaries. That's kind of interesting. I would think that intention would automatically put in boundaries.
No. Well, it didn't for me.
Okay.
There's many ways to channel. Again, I'll just share my experiences with it. When I first learned to channel was way back in 1998. And I can't remember. I think it actually started with writing. I had a book that said how to channel your angels, because I started seeing angels. I was like, well, I might as well learn to talk to them. And it gave instructions on how to do automatic writing. So that can be writing with your dominant hand, but without thinking so much. Or it can even be writing with your non-dominant hand. If you've never tried that, I highly recommend it. It's fascinating, the stuff that can come through when you write or print, because some of us can't write with our non-dominant hand. We have to print. But when you write or print with your non-dominant hand, so much stuff comes out because it comes from a different side of the brain, right? So that's one way of learning to channel. Another is just to, what I would again recommend is open up your chakras. When you're open energetically, then you can allow that universal flow to come through in an easier way.
That's very much how I do any form of channeling that I do. The only channeling that I really practice on a consistent level is when I'm hiking or climbing in the mountains. I allow the mountains or valleys or trees or streams, I allow them to express themselves to me. I call it talking to me. Sometimes I can go climbing on a mountain and it's in a grumpy mood. It can be a blue day, nice and sunshiny, but just by the way the wind is whispering or sometimes howling through the trees, I can get a vibe on whether or not the mountain is going to try to be challenging. Maybe avalanches or maybe a thunderstorm just as you're getting towards the summit. I let nature talk to me, and I find that very, very easy to do when I'm out in nature. But I find it very hard to talk to a mountain that's way out across the prairies here and 2 hours away. I need to be near it, but I also have to open myself up to allow it to be heard. Once I've got my boots on, once I'm on the trail, and sometimes very early, or maybe not very early, I usually do pick up vibes. Some mountains always have an attitude. Some mountains are just playgrounds because they're bouncy, they're exciting. They say, come play on me. And other mountains are saying, did you ask for your permission to climb me today? Or is this going to be a challenge of wills? Yeah.
That's funny.
Mount Temple always is one where you've better have done your graciousness because it is...
And Bogart's like that too, isn't it?
Yeah, Bogart. Wow, Bogart literally has a don't climb me unless you're really ready to try hard. And yet it's not that, shouldn't be that hard, but I've only twice been on mountains that people have been hurt on. And Bogart, the time that my friend got hurt on it, we were just climbing on it, and here's this big squarish, 300-ish pound boulder decided to just slide on one of its flat sides right over her foot. And that whole climb, it had just been a challenge with no reason. It had just been a why are you on me feeling. And one of us got hurt. She was hurt for a long time. That she barely was able to hike herself back off the mountain with broken bones in her foot. And I had her pack in my backpack for the rest to climb back out. And she was hobbling off on her hiking poles. So, you know, if you listen to that.
I was going to say, so getting back to the question, it's about opening yourself up.
To hear it.
Yeah.
So, channeling's important. And also listening is important.
Yes.
Anything else to add to that whole mess?
No. Next question.
I was nearly off on a tangent.
There. That was my director side.
Another question.
Sometimes the director must come out.
Okay. Shuffling. Which piece of paper gets touched first? Went way up here. What did I find?
A green one.
A green card. Oh, yes. Any tips for moving past the mindset of should and releasing this programming easier? Should is a guilt word. That's all I have to say. When you're saying I should do something, it's very much a scolding, could have done things different word. Like I'm stuck and I should do something about it.
And sorry, are you done?
Yeah, I actually am.
Okay.
That's all I have to say about words like should or anytime you feel like you're scolding yourself.
What I was going to say is when you catch yourself shoulding yourself with whatever you should be doing, ask yourself, what do I want to do? What is my desire? And see how that resonates. Like to go back to last night. We should have done a video last night because Sunday is our easiest day to do a video. Any other night is challenging because Rob's working late.
We absolutely should not have done a video last night.
Exactly.
Because this feels way, way, way better tonight.
We were not in the right frame of mind to do a video last night. We were both not in a happy space. Not because of each other, just energies. We were just both kind of not happy.
It was just one of those days that refused to cooperate.
Yeah. So instead of shoulding, I was like, I don't want to do a video. I don't care if it's the right night to do it. I don't want to. It's not the right night for me. So I let go of the should and went with what I wanted, what felt right within. And again, that's the other thing. What feels good instead of a should. So go with what you desire and what feels good, and then play with the two and go, okay. I mean, there's sometimes where a should is important. We should pay our bills. We have to pay our bills if we want to continue to have phones and homes and all the other luxuries that we live in on this 3D earth right now in this time frame. So there's some things that should is part of our life.
I should meditate more. I should go on a diet, or all those other shoulds often are part of goal setting. And usually it's about getting past the fear to get on the path of achieving goals.
The fear or the get past the rigidness. Like sometimes it's not just fear, it's who are we doing it for? If we should go on a diet, are we doing that for ourselves? Because if we should do it, it feels like it's for someone else or for some other reason than a desire. If we want to do it, then it's because we want to get fit, we want to get healthy, we want to feel better. So again, that's where I go, embrace what you want and see if you can make that part of the should, but take out the should and go, I want, I desire, I wish.
And then if it turns into a want, and yet there's still a little bit of a hesitation, set a good old time frame. Put a little mark on the calendar of day one. Day one of what you want, not day one of what you should. Goal setting.
But sometimes I had a whole ton of bookkeeping work I had to get done in the last 2 weeks since we've been back from the workshop. And every day I was like, I should do this. Did I want to? No, I didn't want to. But I had to embrace the part of the fact that it needed to be done.
I think we've still been recovering from connecting with all those other twin flame people and then being unplugged at the end of the weekend.
And having to go back to 3D life and go, no, I don't want to be in 3D life.
We warned so many other people that they could be going through a week or two of disconnection after an excellent weekend of connection with other people of similar mindsets. I think we felt that ourselves.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
And that got in the way of some of our shoulds.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's really affected me. I'm having to really, my energy's not what it was because I'm just.
Well, it really tapped us out. I enjoyed giving, but then I've had to go scrounging for some of my energy back. It's all good. I tend to find it. I'm surrounded by an abundance of energy.
Yes.
I could do an analogy, except it's way too complicated. Forget it. Next question.
Now, we should probably maybe make this the last one because we're already at 58 minutes.
58 minutes.
We'll see how our timing is.
We'll probably stumble into a 15-minute question. Here we go. Are we ready?
Let's do, could I just pick one?
Okay.
Sorry.
You're going to pick one.
I'm picking this one.
Okay. Oh, and then you're going to make me read it still.
Yeah. You're the good reader. I stumble too much when I read. That's why I make you do it.
Here we go. Is it possible/probable that my higher self and twin would arrange for us to pair with a karmic partner years into the journey? It's written in brackets. So we are both single. We were both single when we met/activated. So is it possible or probable that my higher self and twin would arrange for us to pair with a karmic partner years into the journey? Absolutely.
That was going to be my exact answer.
Okay, so we can go on to another one. No.
Absolutely. There you go. We're done.
Absolutely. Now, why are we being so absolute about this?
You go first, since you absolutely lead first.
I have a belief. I trust that my belief is going to resonate with a few of you. But I have a belief that karmic partners are part of the journey of education.
Absolutely.
Can we just hook up with one person and learn everything we need? Or do we need to hook up with karmic partners to do some other learning that will allow the twin flame opportunity to be more ready and present when it comes back, especially after meeting? So, yeah, I think karmic partners are very much part of the education process. Aha, we're at an hour.
There's our hint that we're at an hour. Our computer screen goes black.
Goes black to us. Apparently
Yeah,
stays normal for you.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you got?
I very much agree. I think divine timing plays a huge part in this whole journey, and karmic partners can be involved later in the journey, even if you've been single when you met, because they're here to play their role in helping us learn something, helping us embrace something, helping us clear something. And with the whole divine timing, we're sometimes not ready for that until later on in the journey. So yes, even though it's later in your journey that you're experiencing this, I think that's can be totally, totally fine. Each soul chooses its journey and its path for a designed reason for your growth. So I say embrace it. If it feels right, if it feels like this person or people, if it's for both of you that have other people in your lives, it feels like what, where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do, embrace it. I know some people really struggle with that. I hear so much that now that I've met my twin flame, nobody else is for me. And I get that. I get that. But again, I always say follow your soul's guidance. It will tell you, and you'll also feel the pull to this person if there's something there. In fact, one of the people just shared in the group the other day. I don't think I even told you this yet. The one we climbed the mountain with.
Okay.
Yeah. She just shared that she connected with someone else and was wanting to date them. And it ended up being a very short amount of time, but she learned huge lessons in it, and she embraced love for the first time that she's never really been able to embrace before, ever. So even though it was very short experience with someone else, what a blessing she got out of it. Huge.
A karmic partner can last weeks, or a karmic partner could last years.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to it, yes, the lessons learned. Whether you learn about self, or whether you learn about relationships, or whether you learn about your present level of connectedness with your twin. You might get into a karmic relationship and realize that you're actually very, very close to your twin, as opposed to thinking that you're close. You might get validations from it too, based upon how you feel in another karmic relationship. So yes, they can happen along the way.
And the way I also like to remind people is that it's not just our twin that's a mirror for us. Every single human being is a mirror to us. Whether they're in our life in a relationship sense or not, whether they're just somebody we meet on the street, somebody we meet in the grocery store, everybody has a gift for us, and everybody is a gift, or we are a gift to everybody else as well. So there's always lessons to learn, even if it's not a karmic partner. We're all mirrors, we're all gifts to each other in this journey.
Going back to a previous topic, I have a couple of mountains that are a mirror to me. They don't have to be people. Doesn't always have to be something walking on two legs.
Only Rob. Okay, should we do one more?
Should we do one more?
I'm a sucker. I don't want to stop. But I just try and honor time too.
See, we're down to.
Oh, see, we're doing good.
We're down to five remaining cards.
Excellent. So what we don't answer in this video, we will definitely answer. We do, for those in the Banff group that may not know our regular videos, we do a question and answer every single month. So we will definitely answer your questions. If not in this video, it'll be in the next one.
And who knows? Sometime in the future, maybe some of the other facilitators and us might be all hooked up together answering questions. We might all be working together to answer questions in a format similar to this. Who knows? All right, shuffling. Okay. Enough shuffling. Pull a question.
Thank you for reading my mind.
Flashlight. Oh, blinky flashlight. Oh, other blinky flashlight. There we are. There's constant light setting. Our poor dog. It's right down here by the flashlight. I think it is blinded our poor dog. You might as well
say hi, Cookie.
Hi, Cookie.
Here. Oh, thank you. I get a kiss, do I? Thank you. That's very nice. Okay.
How about you read that?
I would like more information about walk-ins, please. Oh, I like this question. I like.
For the benefit of many others, can you explain what it's like to have dog drool on your face? Oh, sorry. Can you explain what a walk-in is, please?
Okay, so a walk-in, from my understanding, I'm sure there's a better explanation and a better definition. But a walk-in is when a body does not die, but one soul leaves the body and a different soul enters the body. So now it is a whole other soul that takes over that body and takes over the mission of that life. So that's sort of definition. Why it happens, there's many reasons. It could be the one soul is like, I just can't do this anymore. I mean, just because we're, the human parts of us say we can't do this anymore, because this journey, as you know, on a human level is really hard sometimes. And that's why there is suicide. But also on a soul level, sometimes the soul is just like, this body is not for me, this path isn't for me. Maybe the soul feels like they chose wrongly. That they, when they were in spirit and they were choosing the life and the path that they were going to live, they now have decided it's not serving their highest purpose, their highest growth, or maybe they feel like they can't serve at their highest purpose, that they've committed to other souls, now that are, are in human bodies, to go through certain experiences, and they're like, I just can't do that. I don't know how on a spiritual level, how it happens though, like how do two souls decide, okay, we're going to switch roles. And I don't know how it happens on the spiritual side that the soul, like, because we have guides on the other side. So when we're back in spirit form, we have guides, we have teachers, and soul groups. So I don't know how it happens that, we communicate with our soul group and our guides, and they give us permission that yes, that soul can leave and another soul can come in. I'm fascinated by the whole topic, though, I have to be honest. And now you have me intrigued to maybe read some more about this, because it's been years since I've read in detail about walk-ins. And then the other soul that takes over, again, I don't know how that happens, which soul is going to take over and why that soul would take over versus any other soul from a soul group. Or is it somebody from your soul group from the other side? Intriguing.
I would suspect it'd be a soul group, because oftentimes we travel as soul groups to learn together.
Yeah, and we're at the same vibrational level.
Right.
Energy.
And so if it happens to take one body to teach numerous lessons, that would be almost impossible for one soul at where it's at to do. So another soul needs to take over to have a change. Like, people sometimes change drastically.
Yeah, I was going to comment on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't always mean like good to bad or bad to good. It could be just varying levels of, wow, that person's way different than they used to be.
Yeah.
And they're still appreciable as their old selves and new selves.
Yeah.
So I would imagine it would be from the same soul group, or else there wouldn't be much of a point in changing the lesson of what that body is experiencing and who they're coming in touch with in the world. It's just a guess. Intuitively, that's my answer.
Yeah.
I don't know much about this at all. I'm I'm learning as Angie's speaking.
How I know is because, well, number one, I've read a ton of spiritual books, and I love this stuff. Like the Brian Weiss, I don't know if he really talks about walk-ins in his books, but just any of that soul type, those kind of books, Journey of Souls, all of those types of things. But also, I had a friend long, long time ago when Rob and I were first meeting, who fully believed her mom was a walk-in, because she said like she completely changed personality overnight. One day she was this person, and another day she was like, and not only her personality changed, but her appearance changed, because the soul animates.
Animates, right. Yep.
Yeah, not emanates.
Emanates.
Getting tired, can't speak. The soul animates the body, and a different soul is going to animate the body differently. It may, the energy of that soul is going to change how the body walks, how the body talks, how the body lights up in their eyes, their facial expressions, all sorts of things. So it's absolutely fascinating. I've not, that I'm aware of, met a walk-in, but I would love to, just to see the change, the transition. So I hope that sort of answers your question, but now you've left me with a bunch of questions. I totally want to go learn more about walk-ins now, because I'm fascinated by how it all happens.
Wouldn't it be an interesting concept if a walk-in was basically like the same concept of a twin flame, except one of the souls didn't find a body, so they have to trade halfway through?
Wow, that's like massive whole other discussion, but totally intriguing. No, don't go disturbing the twin flame world. No, nope. We're all going to be like, I can't find my twin because they're on the other side and I got to switch bodies with them. I don't think that's the case. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. I'm going to just shut up. I'm not going to say any more than that. Don't open that can of worms.
I did by saying it.
Oh, no.
Worms crawling out, slithering, tip over can, dump worms out.
Okay.
We're going to have to give a lot of water to our worms now because they've got out of their tin.
Oh, dear God. It's time to go.
Thank you very much, people.
Yes, thank you to our Banff people, and thank you to everybody, because we'll post this for everybody as well. And thank you to our dear friend that gave us our San Francisco hats. We love you, and we love you all, and we miss you.
Yes, we're on Twin Flame People's withdrawal.
Yes, very
much.
Yes. All right. Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon, wherever you are. We will be in touch soon.
Love you all.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.